Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at some production tips and tricks that you can use to make your tracks sound a bit more interesting, I suppose. So I've got 4 tracks here. I'm using Cubasis, but honestly you can apply these techniques to anything you like. Just 4 tracks to keep things simple. I've got this kind of guitar. I'll play the little loop. All these instruments are standard instruments from Halley and Sonic, and I have removed any effects that may have been on those instruments, like everything is turned down. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is play around with this nylon guitar. Now, I'll open up and just make sure that everything is turned off, mixes down for the reverb. So there's nothing on here. I'm just going to solo it, open up the insert effects, and I've kind of already started with this one just to get going. So everything is turned off at the moment. I'm going to turn the channel strip on straight away. Hang on. So this is the loop. Well, it's not a loop. I actually played it in, but you know, it's going to loop. Turn the channel strip on. That's just going to give it a bit of a boost in volume. There, I used a bit of gain. Studio EQ, I've boosted the top end a little bit. Nice. And I've got here a micro pitch from Eventide, and I'm pretty sure it's the default preset, although it may have been one of the factory patches, but you can see the settings here. It's pretty easy, and you can kind of scroll through and find what you need, or use some sort of other chorus type of effect. But this makes a huge difference because it has some delay with it. So I've got a dotted 1/8 on the right hand side and just a 1/8 on this hand. It's quite low in the mix as well. But now, bringing this back in, you can hear the acoustic stands out a lot better. Okay, moving swiftly on. Fretless bass. I'm going to solo the instrument. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do with this, and this is a really useful tip, right, with bass guitars, or mainly bass guitars, but you can do with synth bass if you want to. What I'm going to do is duplicate this track and its MIDI. So just hit duplicate. Okay, and I'm going to solo the second track. Okay, so it's exactly the same. But I'm going to go into my Studio EQ now here. And I'm going to take out all this bass. I'm going to hit the channel strip, boost that up a bit. So on its own, you're not really going to hear anything. So this is a trick Trevor Horn used to do. I mean, he may still do it, I don't know. But I'm going to go to my effects now. I think, personally, flanges, choruses, things like that sound absolutely brilliant on bass. So I'm going to go down and find Tricera Chorus. And the idea here is to apply this effect, where we be down here somewhere, is to apply this effect to, I find it, there it is, apply this effect only to the top frequencies, right? So if I do this now, let's turn this off for now. So we'll need to get a sound. So here's our very thin sounding top end bass. Okay. Let's boost the input. Now we can, okay, that's probably a bit loud now, so. Right, let's go back into our EQ. So now we're applying this chorus effect to only this top end of the bass. We could probably, well actually we could probably just add in a compressor from the internal effects. So maybe make a few more adjustments to this tricera chorus. Maybe choose a factory preset, subtle. Perfect. That's more like it. So now what the idea here is, what will happen is when we bring it back into the mix, in fact I'll mute it to start with, the bass end of this, right, this, that's gonna remain unaffected by the chorus, right? But when we bring this in, but there's gonna be no mud in the bass end because this hasn't been touched by the chorus effect. And in fact, if you wanted to, you could take out the top end of that one with supplying all the bass for us, because that top end has been dealt with by this one. And that gives the bass loads more life because of that chorus on the top end. See, nice. And of course we can then make adjustments to our okay. So I think that sounds really good. So this next one, like, let's look at our early piano. Let's see, insert effects. Well, for this one, what I'm going to do is, obviously, because it's MIDI, if we listen to it, let's just solo it again. Just this early 70s EP. What I'm going to do with this one again is I'm going to take this, okay, and I'm going to duplicate it. So I've got two of these electric pianos now. And right, here's the thing. If at the moment I want these to be one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. So I want one hard panned left, one hard panned right. So there's none of this piano in the center. And if I go to my mixer now, here's what will happen. If what I need to do is slightly offset these tracks, because if I go to the mixer now and I play the two pianos, let's turn them up a little bit for now. If I pan one hard left, you're not really hearing, you can't really tell, it's just the same. So we need to fool our ears into thinking that one is on the left and one is on the right. So this is, they used to do this with guitars in the studio a long time ago, because people never play anything exactly the same twice. Engineers or the producers would get a guitarist or a keyboard player to play the same thing, but play it twice, and then they'd pan one hard left and one hard right, and you'd get the effect. But what we're going to do is select this chunk of MIDI for our second piano. Now listen, this is important. If these are set central as they are now and you try and do this, it's going to sound like an absolute mess. First of all, in Cubasis, at least, you turn off the snap grid, okay? This means that now we can pick up this and we can freely move it around, right? So if we just zoom in a little bit here and go back to the beginning, if I start playing and slightly move this off now, you'll get the idea, but it'll sound terrible. exactly the same. So move it off slightly. See? Sounds naff, right? And you would expect that because what's happening is the actual MIDI is playing twice, and one is slightly offset from the other one. We don't want that. What we want to do is go into our mixer and then pan one hard left and one hard right. And now the effect is completely different. Now it sounds like the piano is just one piano, but it's spread out one hard left and one hard right pan. So in fact, that's a bit much. It only needs to be a tiny bit to fool our ears into thinking it's true stereo, like one pan hard left, one pan hard right, and we can hear it. Now, let's go back to the main mix thing. So what I've done now is I need to reset my bar position as well because I've offset this. So now it sounds like this. If I unsolo both of those now and play it, so what we've got so far is we've adjusted our nylon, we've adjusted our fretless, we've got two fretlesses, the one with all the top end and the effects on, which is what Trevor Horn used to do, because if you put effects on the bass guitar down the muddy end, it'll just sound naff, and then you have to start trying to sculpt out low end that you don't want to lose. Anyway, so now it sounds like this. Which I think you'll agree is now starting to sound really good. Now here's the thing. With electric pianos and things like this, I like choruses and stuff like that on electric pianos as well. So what I'm going to do for this, the trouble is, if I put a chorus on this now, I'll have to put the same chorus on this. And even if I'd have put the chorus on the piano to begin with, right, and then duplicated it, I'm duplicating that chorus effect, and really there's going to be too much chorus effects. So what we can do with Cubasis and on other DAWs as well, is we can choose to put these on a group track. So if I go right, add, right, and remember it's 4 and 5. So I'm going to add group, and I'm going to choose, right, I'm going to put 4 and the electric piano. So yeah, there, like that. So I'm going to put both of those into this group track, and I'm going to move these. I'm going to pick this up and just hold and move it there. Okay, so now our group track contains these two electric piano. It won't sound any different yet. Let's go to our mixer. So now we have our group track here, and we could rename it, you know, keyboard. So if I turn this down now, I'm taking out all our piano, so I've got complete control. All right, so here's a cool thing with the group track selected. In fact, we could rename this to let me just do this with my finger. Electric piano. Okay, so now our group track is called electric piano, but you'll see that on the group track we also have insert effects, send effects, etc., etc. Let's go to our insert effects here, tap to add an effect, and we can do all our EQing and stuff. Let's go to audio units, and I'm going to use another Tricera chorus because I'm in an eventide mood today. Click on that. Don't worry, it says MIDI, it's the same. And let's just play around with this. So I guess the easiest way to do would be go into our mixer as well and solo our group track. So let's try a few factory presets. Subtle maybe. Oh, that sounds nice. Let's mess around with that. Let's give it some modulation as well. Maybe. I quite like that one actually. Cool, and now we can mix down our group track. Where is our group track? Oh, here it is. And you can really hear the like the flange effect on the bass, chorus effect on the bass, even though none of it's on the bottom end. Okay, so last but not least, let's look at our drums. So let's select our drums here, and to make things easier so we can see what's going on, I'm just going to hold on to this and I am going to move it up to the top. Okay, so now it's still the same. So now I want to, I know that if I solo this, I played this in via my MIDI keyboard, and it's a multitronic drums, and it's like a complete drum kit that runs across the keyboard. But again, the temptation is to go bonkers. But if we have a look, we only have 3 MIDI tracks here. So I'm going to solo. Oh, I have soloed it. So we've got this clap here, this snare, and this kick drum. So only 3 drums. Now you can do this any way you like, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate and duplicate again. So I've got 3 tracks now. And this first track will be the kick. This will be the snare, and this will be the clap track. So first of all, I'm going to open this up like this, double tap it to open up the MIDI, and I'm just going to scroll all this in so I can see what's going on. And I'm going to take out, I'm already on select, I'm going to take out, I'll do this with my finger, so long hold and select the claps and erase them. And I'm going to expand this a little bit and do the same for these snares here. So you long hold till it starts flashing, and then you can draw across where you want to erase, and then just hit erase. So in this first one now, if we play it, we solo this first drum track. We've just got our kick drum. So now we can start to add effects and stuff to boost that up, right? So this second one, let's do this. And we don't need to worry about soloing them all. So let's just leave them all on solo. This time I'm going to leave the snare in on this one. So double tap again. Let's just scroll in and find out where we're at. Come on, Doug. There we go. And I'm going to take out the kick. So select all those, hit erase, and I'm going to take out the clap MIDI as well and hit erase. So now all we're left with there is the snare. And then on this last one, which is quite an important one for what I want to do, I'm just going to leave the claps in. So we're going to do all this, and this will be an easy one. So long hold, drag up, and now if you've got more drums and stuff, you can do it as many times as you like, multiple times, to separate all your tracks, or you may just be happy with the total mix of the kit. But for things like this, so now it's the same thing. Okay, first of all, on this clap, I want a reverb. Okay, so quite a big reverb. So I'm going to just I'm going to use the Eventide black hole. So I'm going to, and in fact, I might make some adjustments to the EQ and stuff as well. So let's just make sure our clap is soloed, and just let this loop around. In fact, what I'll do is, so we're kind of hearing it, I'll just set the loop points kind of there. Okay. Just removing both loop points by holding this left or right here. Okay, so now let's go in and find black hole, which should be quite easy to find because it's B. Here we go. There it is. Let's tap on this. I'm on the right one here. No. Let's just switch black hole off on that snare because I might want some on there as well. This one. Have to add an effect. Audio unit. Okay. Great, and I want some modulation. So I'm going to boost it and I'm going to play with EQ. Okay, so now, so just yeah, it sounds better. Case of messing with it till you're happy. Not too much high end on that. Oh, here we go. It's getting closer to what I want now. Better. And just mix that down. Okay, let's go into our effects. I think I already have, yeah. Don't know if we need black hole on that, but definitely some EQ. Or any effect you like, you know. What might sound nice on this actually is mangled verb. So I'll replace this. I'll replace this with a mangled verb. Not bit maestro. Go to a find mangled verb, which is another Eventide effect, of course. Which will add a bit of distortion in there, which might sound cool. It'll kind of not going bonkers. Here we go, mangled verb. Now we want to definitely mess around with this, so again, it's a matter of just messing around with it. Okay. Okay. So the only one we haven't messed around with is the kick. So let's solo that. Now this might just need, genuinely just need some. So we've got some EQ in Multitronic we could use. So maybe a little bit of effect, something. All right, there's a couple of these that need their, this one needs the velocity bringing up. This one does as well. And I think that sounds okay. Give it a little bit of drive. Yeah. Tube. That's better. That's much tighter. Now you can at this point play around with the fact if you think it needs some reverb or something on it, right? But I don't know if you do. And again, you could do split again and maybe send delays off on a separate one of these as well that you could control, etc., etc. But I don't want to go any further. That's definitely enough. I'm gonna see what it sounds like then. So if you remember what it sounded like at the beginning, I don't know, but let's definitely see what it sounds like now. You get an idea. If you want to remember what it sounded like, go back to the beginning of the video and just have a quick listen. Anyway, I'm going to let this play around a few times. Now, the idea here is then to go further and, shall I? Yeah, let me go a bit further and arrange this track. So we've got our group track for our pianos. So, for example, on this first one, I just want to have this. This flex nylon and the drums, so we'll leave them as they are. And then I want the second one to come. So what I'm going to do is press select here. I'm just going to long hold like that and select these three. Then put my marker there, select the top one, press copy and paste, and that's going to paste my three over here. So this would be the second one where I also want the bass to come in. So again, I'm going to press select, do this, that, and just move those over because I don't want them in the first part. And in fact, at this point now, I'm going to just switch this back onto bars. So everything is kind of moving per bar sort of thing. Now on the electric pianos, I'll have them come in third. So I'll press select again and select this lot here. Have I done the top one? No. Press select and select those. Move my marker to here and copy and paste all of that. In fact, you see what I did there, but that's okay. We just need to undo and I'll tell you why. What you need to do is make sure you're selected on what you want. Hit select. I'm just gonna, oh, I've already selected them. Place my marker, copy and paste those over like this. And then in this section here will be where the electric pianos will come in as well. So all we need to do is hit select again and basically just pick them up and move them. Oops, no. Select. Make sure nothing else is selected or you'll be moving everything, right? So anyway, come on. Move those over to there. So now it starts with just the drums and the guitar, and the drums, the guitar and the bass, and then everything comes in at the end. And I'll leave it to loop these second two sections. Go back to the beginning. And if you've enjoyed the video, please strike the like, subscribe to the channel. Please consider becoming a member. I hope you found some of this interesting. Find some of these, like the idea of music production can be relatively boring, but you know what I mean? It's all stuff that helps, you know. Anyway, here we go. See you guys later. Ta-da.